Prime Tsuru is probably the strongest female in One Piece. Even at age 76, she is still top tier in the verse, and I'd argue in her prime, she was comfortably stronger than all current admirals. However, knowing the true extent of her power is hard due to the lack of feats and screen time she has had. Tsuru's devilfruit is honestly one of the most interesting in the series. We have only seen it in action once in Marineford, but in SBS volume 58, Oda explains how it works. Tsuru has the wash fruit, or wash-washinomi, which can wash and hang people and objects like they were clothes. This therefore can render any opponent unable to fight, while also if a villain has been hanged and dried, their evil heart becomes a little cleaner. The extent of the devilfruit power is still unknown, but by this definition, we don't know if villains genuinely become less bad as people, or if only their evil intent vanishes. However, this still makes it an excellent defensive fruit. Depending on how it works, it could honestly be considered the best defensive fruit in One Piece. If the fruit has good range and the ability to hang anyone, or even if it depends on Haki, I believe that defensively, it essentially makes her invincible. Even if the fruit has no AP, I still think it's top tier in the verse, as you can't fight back, and it's similar to Boa Hancock's fruit. As for Haki, we still don't know the extent of Tsuru's Haki power, but as a Marine Vice Admiral, Tsuru should be proficient in Haki, specifically both Armament type Haki and Observation type Haki, but we don't know if she has Conqueror's Haki. As I said earlier, she practically has no feats, except stuff that have been said about her by other people, and stuff that she's implied to have done. Tsuru was a part of the Marines' legendary trio of Garp, Sengoku, and herself, who all joined the Marines at the same time 56 years ago. In the Vivre card, she is stated to be the brains of this trio. The Vivre card specifically mentions all three of them, including Tsuru, and describes how their encounters with Goldie Roger and Whitebeard led to them being known as the legends of marine history. With all this, I think it's fair to say that Prime Tsuru is at least comparable to Prime Garp and Sengoku, as all three of them clashed with Roger and Whitebeard numerous times. Even if she is only considered a Vice Admiral, the Vivre card explicitly mentions that she is regarded as being above other Vice Admirals due to her power and experience. I think it's crazy that people don't consider her to be at least Admiral level, and considering that she trained Gion, who was an Admiral candidate, it's fair to say she is Admiral level minimum. The final thing that seals the deal for me that Tsuru is the strongest female in One Piece is her encounters with Jack and Doflamingo. We'll start with Jack. The encounter with Jack doesn't show her powers, but I believe it at least conveys how respected and smart Tsuru is. The scene was essentially when Jack was trying to rescue Doflamingo from Tsuru, Sengoku, and Fujitora who were guarding him. What's crazy is when you consider that the former Fleet Admiral Sengoku and the current Admiral Fujitora are there, yet Tsuru was in charge of the fleet's tactics. Is mind-blowing. She was literally in charge of the ship's formation and how to attack Jack's ship, which was ultimately defeated. Yeah, it still doesn't show her strength, but at least shows that she is a tactical genius more so than Sengoku, who was in charge of the tactics in the Paramount War. Finally, her encounters with Doflamingo are real more interesting and numerous. The first encounter was during Law's flashback, and Tsuru's aura alone made Doflamingo bleed. I believe that it generally shows how much Doflamingo respects Tsuru and thus left, as even her by herself is a problem. Again, during a meeting of the warlords in Merijoa, she tells Doflamingo to be a good boy and stand down. I swear, she is literally the only person who can say this to Doflamingo. When Doflamingo was in the presence of Akawashi and Fujitora, he was unfazed, but when it's with Tsuru, it's different. Finally, even Doflamingo says he could never best Tsuru. This shows how crazy respected Tsuru is, and that Doflamingo at least considers Tsuru Tsuru to be above other admirals in strength. I think at minimum she is as strong as the other current admirals, and depending on how it unveils, she could only be behind Garp, Sengoku and Kong in terms of strength in her prime. So if you disagree, mention it in the comments, and thanks for watching.